When Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos were first announced as permanent co-hosts of Live with Kelly and Mark, many fans assumed the couple's lives had become one seamless extension of their marriage. Mornings on air, afternoons together in Manhattan, evenings at home, and weekends sprinkled with family time. After all, what could be more natural than two people who had already shared decades of marriage, raising 3 children, and 1,000 inside jokes bringing that same spark to the screen every morning? But in true Ripa Consuelos fashion, the reality is far funnier and far more human than the fantasy. Believe it or not, we actually see each other less now. Kelly recently quipped during a behind-the-scenes chat, throwing her husband and co-host a sidelong glance that only a partner of nearly 30 years could deliver. Mark laughed, but he didn't deny it. The paradox of proximity. To the uninitiated, working with your spouse might sound like a guarantee of togetherness. But Kelly and Mark have discovered a paradox. Sharing the spotlight doesn't necessarily mean sharing life. The show takes up this incredible amount of energy, Kelly explained. We wake up at the crack of dawn. We glam up. We do the show. It's this whirlwind. But once the cameras stop, we split off into completely different lanes. I'm going one way, he's going another. By the time we actually sit down at home, we're too exhausted to what's the word?
Talk.
Mark interjected, smirking.
Exactly.
Talk. Kelly replied, with that signature Ripa mock exasperation. Old patterns, new challenges. Before Live, their rhythms were entirely different. Mark often filmed TV projects across the country, sometimes for months at a time, while Kelly anchored the show alongside a rotating cast of co-hosts. Paradoxically, the distance made their reunions sweeter. When Mark returned from a shoot in Vancouver or Atlanta, the family carved out intentional time together. Dinners, vacations, Netflix binges. Now, with both of them tethered to the same gig, the forced proximity has ironically eroded that intentionality. It's like college roommates, Kelly joked. You think you'll be together all the time, but really you just see each other when you're passing in the hall with a Pop-Tart. Mark nodded. We're ships in the same harbor. I see her across the dock, but we're both busy maintaining our own little boats. The comedy of the commute. Even the simplest parts of their routine have become material for laughter and mild marital debate. For instance, whether they should commute together to the studio. Mark's one of those people who thinks if call time is 8:30, that means you leave the house at 8:29, Kelly told producers, rolling her eyes. I like to get there, have a coffee, do a crossword, maybe speak to the glam squad without sweating through my outfit. So now, Mark added, we drive separately. Which is ridiculous because we live in the same house. Fans of the show have noticed that these everyday tiffs often sneak into the broadcast. What begins as a topical story about New York traffic can quickly devolve into a marital squabble over who hogs the closet or leaves coffee cups around the house. Viewers eat it up, precisely because it's so unpolished. On-air banter, off-air breathers. Interestingly, the couple's dynamic on screen is much chattier than off. People think we never stop talking, Kelly said. But when we get home, we go quiet. I need to recharge my voice. And Mark needs to recharge his patience. That's true, Mark admitted with a grin. I've already been out-argued by 9 a.m. What they've discovered is that co-hosting requires a different kind of communication than marriage does. On air, everything is fast, witty, built for entertainment. At home, there's space for silence, for the mundane. It's almost as if the show has siphoned off their conversational energy, leaving the evenings calmer, even wordless at times. Sometimes we just sit next to each other on the couch scrolling through our phones, Kelly confessed. And that's fine. That's marriage. Not everything has to be a monologue. When the cameras stop rolling. But don't let the jokes fool you. There's a deeper undercurrent of gratitude in how the couple navigates this new chapter. We might see each other less, but it's a different kind of less, Kelly said thoughtfully. It's not absence like when Mark was away filming. It's more like background presence. He's there, I'm here, we're circling each other. And that's oddly comforting. Mark agreed. I know she's around. Even if we're not in the same room, I know she's 2 blocks away instead of 2 states away. That matters. the audience as a third partner. One unexpected twist in their co-hosting journey is the role the audience plays. For decades, I told stories about Mark to strangers who laughed along with me, Kelly explained. Now those strangers get to see him live, and they get to decide for themselves if he's as funny or as infuriating as I claim. Mark chuckled. It's like being cross-examined in front of America. I can't defend myself at home, but I can defend myself in front of millions. The audience, in many ways, has become the third partner in their marriage, a peanut gallery that eggs them on and validates their banter. What they've learned. So, what has Kelly and Mark's on-air partnership taught them about marriage? That it's okay to bicker, Kelly said. That's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign you still care enough to fight about the little things. And that sometimes the healthiest thing is to go your separate ways during the day, Mark added. Even if your separate ways are only a few subway stops apart. Ultimately, the couple has found that seeing each other less has kept their relationship fresher than fans might expect. Absence may make the heart grow fonder, but so does a little distance after 3 hours of live television together. Looking ahead, as they continue their reign on live, both Kelly and Mark are embracing the contradictions, together but separate, chatty but quiet, public but private. People always ask if we worry about working together hurting the marriage, Kelly said. I actually think it's strengthened it. Because if we can survive glam chairs, teleprompter mishaps, and 9 a.m. debates about Mark's gym shorts, we can survive anything. Mark leaned in with mock seriousness. And if all else fails, we'll just start commuting together again. Carpool therapy. Kelly laughed. Only if you promise to leave the house before 8:29. The audience will keep tuning in, not just for celebrity guests or cooking segments, but for the rare chance to witness a marriage playing out in real time. Messy, funny, flawed, enduring. And if Kelly and Mark see each other less these days, perhaps that's the very secret to why they continue to thrive, on screen, off screen, and everywhere in between.